It appears we are online. It works. Okay, great. Then let's get back to Slipways. It's been released, and we're going to all have a little bit of a think here. Ever since I've seen this game, I've been enamored by it, so... Well, it's asking us, or me, would I like to jump straight into a quick run? No thanks, actually. I'll pick up things. So, there's an unlock system in the full game. I suppose that's okay, right? We'll try to, let's see, 4-star. Let's unlock all these things. We can help it. So, you get to choose where you start, right? But you can also just alright, choose a random sector. Or even for those who are afraid that, you know, you can go somewhere else. Apparently, the background color is determined by where you start. So we could start in like... Yeah, as you can see, the orb displays a background color. And if you change the seed... Right? That is not long enough, I think. It's supposed to be 9. And, well... That is... Wait, why is that not correct? Oh, it has to start with J, right? So... Let's do the programming test. With an extra D. Apparently it has beautiful sights. I was hoping that there would be some Easter eggs in here, but there probably are, right? For example, let's see. I don't know how to... Nope. The developer's name doesn't fit, so... But I would presume that there is... Do we want to play with this cork, actually? Why not, right? We'll have a quirky sector to start with. I'll accept this. And now you get to choose races. So, everyone who's new to this game, right? I was just like, I'm so enamored. Let's play a game. What are we even doing here, right? We're trying to, I suppose, explore, expand, and exploit, but not exterminate, right? We're trying to do these 3 things. We're trying to get a high score by colonizing planets and making them happy, basically, right? So I could choose these races, right? But I could also click this button, and then you get some randomized start, and we'll try to make the best of it. We get joint factories, as well as researchers. Once per game, we can invent a technology from any tier, even one you could not normally access. This is a fascinating perk. I could maybe change for space architects, so we could maybe try something fun. You know what? How many structures do we have available? Because we have a lot of... Yeah, we have fusion plants over here. And... actually, not all that many other things. We have infrawave stations, actually. You know what? Let's try space architects. We'll make a small change, right? Just because I'm curious about about space architects and how it interacts with various things. Okay, so pops the tutorial. Now, unfortunately, I've played this game a lot, so we don't need a tutorial. Since this is the first stream of the full game, I'm going to go ahead and maybe explain a little bit more. This will be like a first run. It'll be an over-explained run. So I've put this on tough difficulty, so we start with only 100 wealth. So our goal here is, you can find it over here, right? So we want to get all these star points. Now you can get them in 3 ways. Now empire size typically is not really going to be your main focus. The other 2 are really the important 2 factors. So the first factor is complete tasks. We'll be giving those in the 2nd year, so I'll explain those as they come up. But the first factor that we can already explain is planets, right? We want to get the planet's needs fulfilled. And as you can see, the first 2 steps are worth 80, but a very good planet, which is like the 3rd upgrade, which is prosperous, is worth double. So getting the planet fully upgraded is going to be very, very nice. In addition to that, there's a score multiplier from happiness, as well as another score multiplier because we have beautiful sites, which upgrades some planets. It's a minus 5% modifier, so we really ought to find at least 3 of those in order to offset this multiplier. And of course have a successful planet with people on them to, you know, as we can see, right? Anyone playing at home, you can play along if you type in hello world with an extra D. All right, so one more little thing before we start, which is over here. I want to do stable probes. So there's this little mini game with scanning where you can, where the radius will oscillate for your probes, which, I mean, if you're into that, but other than that one little thing that's based on dexterity, this is a pure turn-based strategy game. So I've disabled it because it just doesn't really show me too much. So here we have to place these probes in an efficient way, right? If I probe, say here, I only get 1 planet, but I could get 5. Well, it's not necessarily a planet, right? It's a signal. So if I do this 5, then I get this 4 here, I suppose, right? And then 4 here. And then I suppose these 4. I think that's fine. Those combinations seem okay to me. Start with these 4 and see what's over here. All right, so we got 2 asteroids, which are, I suppose they're sort of savings, right, for a rainy day. You can pop these whenever you're out of money. Sort of rescue funds, right? And we've discovered 2 planets. Zalgo 7, where everybody is busy inventing new interesting ways to disguise text, I suppose. Yes, where people worship ancient old gods. And Banaliv 2, which is a mineral world. Now, Banaliv 2 can be only a mine, and Zalgo can be either one of these 3 things. Now, only the colony will interact with the mine. The left is the resources it consumes, and the right is the resource that it will produce. So, and as you can see on the right, as it upgrades, it will require additional kinds of resources. So this planet will also want water at some point. And it will increase its output as well. So it can go up to 4 at level 4. And the same holds for these. Now the breeding program is pretty simple. It just requires more and more humans. The wetland farm wants all sorts of resources. Robots and chips and biomatter. And the colony wants chips, food and goods. Now we have none of these resources here. So a good decision here would be to do another scan, really. You could set up a link here, but you don't know whether or not it's possible to even fulfill the needs of where there's a colony. And now this would be the scan with the most planets, but as you can see, these are mediums, these are strong, and this one is weak. So we can get 2 strong and 2 medium, or 2 strong, 2 medium, and a weak. It seemed, it might be perspective, I suppose. It seemed like this would be a worse scan than this because the signals were bigger here, but no, it's just perspective. Good that we check. Okay, so now we get some more colonizables. There is no real good source of food yet, though, in the region, right? There, of course, all colonizable planets can be turned into farms, but all those farms require a robot. Yes, apparently our society in the future is so posh. People are so refined that they do not want to be farmers. Only machines are allowed to be farmers. Until, of course, you know, hashtag robot equality will come in the later stages of the game. We'll get to that. We could get that tech, actually. All right. So here is a primordial planet, which is the only source of food that doesn't require robots in the beginning. So we could decide the monoculture farm. However, we also have a remnant, which is a nice source of robots. Now, the thing is, right, when you colonize this planet, it takes 3 months of time, right? Our time is situated here. We have 25 years. And our scans have already taken away 3 months of that. Now, if you check, right, a small slipway costs 3, but if you go up, it very quickly goes up, right? We're at 6 here. Twice that, we're at 17. It's not quite linear, actually. Right, it starts increasing here, and then it starts increasing faster and faster. So this is a very expensive connection. The maximum cost is actually 20. If you go further than that, it says out of range. So would it be a good idea to make a robot here? I don't really think so, because I would need to make one expensive connection, and then another such an expensive connection. And we only have 100 money, right? If I spent 40 of our 100 starting money just on getting a robot for a single food producing planet, that seems like it wouldn't be a great idea. So we're limited by both time and money. So how do we make sure that we actually get enough money to keep going, right? That's really the main concern at the start of the game, and you do that by having as many trades as possible. So I've decided to make a colony here. Would that be a good idea? Maybe not, right? So you can always undo actions that do not reveal any information. So if I wanted to make a monoculture farm here, right, I could make a colony either on the ocean or on the earth to service it. Now the monoculture farm wants biomatter, right? So you would say you want a Gaia world to produce biomatter and then send it in, right? Which also sends in the water as well, so, right? So it produces 2 food. The unfortunate part is that if I try to make a colony here as well, yes, tasks are available. I do not want to see them. We run into this problem. This colony wants an ore, and there's an earth in the way of our hyperspace bypass that we're trying to build here. So, unfortunately, that would not be a solution. But this is a very strong start, right? It's not a two-way trade, technically, but it does send 2 resources immediately. And as you can see, our income went up to 3. Right, we got 6 per year from planet exports. I wonder why it's only 6 and not 8. I suppose it's because this world is still struggling, right? If it weren't struggling, would the exports go up? Let's have a look-see, right? So now we're at 11. So this one's producing, yes, as we can see, right? So struggling planets do have a small penalty. They only gain 3 per resource. So we're incentivized to find a human somewhere, ideally around here, of course, because the food will be sent into here, unfortunately. There's no real way of scouting past the ocean to see if there's actually a mineral, another mineral. But I'm thinking, you know what? This seems fine. Let's start with this. Since we've said that this is fine, the next decision is what do we do next? I could decide to scout, right? Since we have to scout in the future anyway. And I can save myself on some money. If I found the colony, now I'll have to pay 1 extra credit and upkeep. It's only 1 credit though. And I might run into time issues next year again. So I could decide, you know what, let's just build this ocean planet because it does connect with 2 different things and it does pop in quite nicely. And suppose that we fail to find a mineral planet, right? Suppose that everything goes wrong and we just don't find any minerals whatsoever. Then this planet would be in need of minerals and it would still be struggling. What is struggling? Well, that is what the planets are when you don't have, don't fulfill any of the requirements. A struggling planet will eventually give you -8% happiness, which is the score multiplier. So it's really important actually that we end up with as few of these as possible at the end of the game. But in the beginning of the game, again, as we've seen, right, they also give a little bit of a trade income penalty. So I'd like to be able to at least get our planet to this level, right? It's just a second level established, which if we look at our score, it should be worth 80 points, right? And our score is now 74 because, again, we have these 2 multipliers. So we want to use up. We also have another penalty here because it's not sending its food anywhere. So let's go ahead and connect in this colony. Right. There we go. And now at 10 income, we've used about half our wealth already to set this little loop up, but we've got to start. This now has 8 trade income, and now we have 2 established plants. So now our score should be 160 times, of course, our 2 multipliers, which are still the same because, again, we still have 1 struggling planet. But what we could see is that if things go wrong and we don't have any ability of... we do have geoharvesting. Do we have... Yes, we have these gravitic tugs, which could move planets. So if things don't go right, we could always move this mineral world over a bit and use that to connect our ocean up with another 2-way trade, by the way. So let's see here. We have... It's always a good idea to also look at your technology options at the start of the game. We have freeze-resistant robots, which could be used to make lots of water. Which could be a... Yeah, that's not bad. Again, a lot of these early game technologies will depend a lot on which planets we find, right? We have quantum sensors, which is always a good alternative. It's strong in most games. It increases scan radius. So 40%, because it's a radius, will actually increase the surface area of a probe by nearly double. Right, so you only need to use half as many probes. That's what this actually just says, right? And xenostudies, which is a way to get more science on remnant and primordial planets, which this could be it. We also have an interesting perk where we can pick a late game tech at the very start. Now these are very expensive, of course, but we could just decide, you know what, let's just start out with skill download, for example, right? Which increases the resource production. Or even something like, well, space-time inversion is not going to be affordable, so that's probably not it. We could add flexible fabrication to make goods everywhere. Ah, here it is, making robots and people equal. Use robots as people. We could start with plasma containment or slipway relays. Then there is quantum computing. Quantum computing is an interesting technology to start out with because it increases research. The earlier you get this, the more valuable it is. I think that probably out of all the technology we have available to us, the technology we want to use our researchers perk on is probably going to be quantum computing. Seems like a fitting thing. So now I used up some time in the years. Let's go back a little bit. Because our tasks might require us to connect these planets up in some way. Okay, so we have established a lab study in or getting it to 3 science. Now, laboratories are very expensive on the highest difficulty. Let's see where the Bakar wants us to explore. You know what? I'm intending to go a bit into this direction. So I think that we can do this mission. Now we have increased the production of robots by 3. Well, we are producing food using biomatter. So we don't necessarily need these robots. But establishing a lab early can be quite dangerous on tough. And we also need to find an additional ore planet to make this work. So it's a bit of a risky move compared to the robots. But I think it's doable. It requires us to make a lab using ore, but in general there's already an ore here. I think it's fairly likely that we'll find some ore. Let's do this task as well. It's kind of difficult to design your starting task when you don't really see something that really jumps out at you. So, let's redo these connections. Let's have a look into the direction the Bakar wants us to go in then. Okay, so there is a forge world and a swamp, which could connect together, right? As in the forge world could make the chips for a colony on here. Again, since we have the food here, that we want to be using this food so that we upgrade this even further, right? It wants another export route in order to upgrade. You get money from exports. For some reason, this only has 3 trade income. Oh, because the target is not is still struggling, right? And this one has 8 trade income. So the trade income per resource, right, is 4, but if your target is struggling, it's only 3. So this sending 1 food is 3, 2 resources, 2 times 4 is 8, 1 human, another 4 is 12. We should have 14. I'm missing another bit here. 3, 11. Oh, it's 3. Oh, right. Either side is struggling, so it's 3, 3, and 8, which is 14, right? I was like, hold on a second. I should have more income, but no. So there's this and then that, I suppose. I mean, I'm not... These small ones are very unlikely to be a planet. We really want to find a source of ore, ideally. Let's have a look here. Ah, we found our first beautiful site. But no source of ore, unfortunately, so... That does not bode too well for this first run. I think we'll manage, but it'll take a while. Oof. Just nothing. Okay. So this could be a decent colony. Colony on arid wants water, which could be provided here. But there's no robot source yet. This chip could always be provided here, for which the ore could be provided here. There's another source of ore here, which could make the laboratory. We need a lab with 3 science. Labs default to 1 point of science, and for every resource you put in, you get another 2. Every person another 1. So a lab studying for 3 science would need 2 ore inputs. So these 2 could do. You can just build the lab wherever you want. So we could build it here and connect these 2. Of course, I don't want to do that now and halve my income. That would be a little silly. There's also something to be said for looking at these asteroids and making sure that we get as many things as possible within range. I think that our next colony should probably be here. And this can maybe be a water export. And then we can have a 2-way trade for this long... Can this connection be made, actually? It's out of range. Okay. It was just about to say, mission complete. Yes, thank you. But, we don't quite make it if I do that one. But I don't want to risk another, ore shortage. This will increase it to successful. Unfortunately, there's a bunch of struggling things that it's sending its resources to, so the income from it is not that amazing. We're in November. Forge roads are fairly expensive to run at 2 per month, but is there a good way of scanning efficiently? I suppose I could use this up, but that would the loss from not using all 4 would be more than the gain. An asteroid yield will increase with every planet you colonize next to it, right? This asteroid is worth 0. This one's worth 12. If I colonize 2 more planets, which I could, then it would be worth 24. The ice ball can't do anything, so... Alright. Send it. Ah, our first forebear ruin. These are quite useful. You get an event, basically, where you can choose one of 3 options. So we can either rebuild it and get an infraspace relay for 15 credits, which, you know, could be a nice solution for getting ore into this world here. We could get 8 science points, which would be very nice for a build in which we want to get to quantum computing quickly, as it will speed it up by quite a bit. And then we have Scrap It for Parts, which allows us to do ore production here. Now, Scrap It for Parts is another very good option because it will fix this planet for us by producing ore and the chip. Unfortunately, the ore could be sent here with another colony, but then where are we using all the humans, right? You do get additional unhappiness from unemployment, so I don't think that's a great, but I think that we could use the ore somewhere else. We could use it here to make these boxes, which can then be sent back into a colony, making it a very valuable colony. In addition to that, there is another colony here that could be founded and sent the goods from here. And this colony would require a chip, which could then come from here as well. And a goods production here, interestingly enough, has chips as a secondary resource. So we have another connection here. So that is just, that's so good, right? We can do so many things if we scrap this for parts. So I think that even though those 2 other options seem enticing, Scrap It for Parts looks like it's the winner here. Now, we can't do this because we need to advance the Bacard level 1. We need to complete their mission. Now, their mission was to explore. So if I just found this colony here for water export and connect it in, voila, we have our task complete. Now, one little thing I can do here is I can connect this here as well. Oh, I thought I needed to remove the asteroid to do that. That's kind of nice. However, that is quite expensive at 13. I do want to build this. And this costs 20, right? So this can be a little tricky to do the right sequencing here. So I think the best play is to actually build the goods factory first, right? Then to use the asteroid, so we have the money to do our things. Then to scrap our thing for parts, which will take no time. Then to send in the good, which should increase our income by quite a bit. And then to send the water, which will increase the income further. And then to send the ore. And we end up with exactly 0 money at the end of the year. You know what? Missing out on only a single month and having you done all these actions? That seems fine to me. So if you don't have enough money to do anything anymore, you can skip. And this will advance the time to the next year. I do want to do so because if we look at this asteroid here, I could colonize these 2 planets and that would increase its yield by another 12. I think that is worth 1 month, right? At the start of the game on tough, you have to kind of compare the value of your time and your money, as time is money, as they say. And here I think this is a good trade. So I could make a recycling operation here, as well as a colony here. And we've increased our empire size, which will reduce our income in lieu of administration costs. So the question then becomes, do I want to do that? Right? Do I want to go into a size where I have administration costs? Perhaps not. Well, that's out of range. That is 20. That is unreasonably expensive, right? These connections are already quite long, right? This one was what, 8? This was 13. I suppose they're not that bad, but they're still not ideal. And ideally you want these short ones that are just 3 credits. Indeed. I suppose I should be doing a recycling operation still then. Is there no way to use our resources better? There's also the option of simply scouting first and seeing. Maybe there is another option. I doubt it, but... Like another thing we can do and try to trick the game is if you are in October and you found that 8th colony, then you don't get hit by the administration costs for 1 year. So that saves you 8 credits, which can be a little, you know, fancy thing you can try to do. We're in month number 2, so getting to October would mean quite a few actions would need to be done. Other than founding a planet, don't think we have enough actions available to us to actually do so, right? You can get to June, which would mean like 4 more months to October. There are no real good actions, right? I mean, I suppose I could place down the laboratory at this point, right, if I had the money for it, but we don't. So I think the best action here is to simply take our colony, consume our asteroid that we want to consume. And, oof, that costs 18. Is there... That is a two-way trade that makes 7, so I think it's okay, right? So now I'm really looking for some food here. You cannot actually cross slipstreams. There'd be a planet in the way as well. So we would need a secondary source of food, right? Which is like... maybe I should have taken the robots mission instead, right, at this point. Because we didn't find any ore for the laboratory we're trying to make. So this mission now is kind of holding up the possibility of getting more missions. Another beautiful site. So you really are incentivized to build humans here, but it might just become an agro world instead. We are out of money. But I can use the scouts at the end of the... Oh, there's our first ore. So is there any other source of food? If we could make humans here, I'd like to do so. This connection, it's obstructed just barely. That's unfortunate. If it had a good... I mean, it could send a human over into this mineral world, I suppose. There's no good way of doing this efficiently. Well, there's all the ore. Oh, wow, okay. Yes, I would like some food. So this one's 16, this one's 18. Yeah, it's always going to be an expensive connection. Thankfully, I've got this extra asteroid. So I can always still found this planet. But this year is not going to be extremely productive. I wonder if I should really even... I mean, I probably should try to see what's over here and see what we get. Yeah, I was... Oh, even more ore. Okay. Is this connection possible? I suppose it wasn't, right? Yeah, so if only you could take more of these options here, I would take the relay to relay and then have food, have ore, have another ore, or another ore. 1, 2, 3, 4 ore. This could be a very large laboratory if I wanted to make one. And I think I do, so our beautiful sites are going to be used for, well, food production. Oh, how expensive is this? 16? I suppose we'll have to use one of these asteroids. I would like to make this connection as well, but it's 15. So I'm trying to be efficient here, and I'm not too happy with what we're doing right now. It's not quite as efficient as I want it to be. I could make ore here, and I should. This does increase its... Yes, it does increase its production by 1 more human, which is what I'd really want, because then we can actually afford a laboratory. But probably I want to send the human into this ore, and then this ore, and then build our laboratory. Ideally, we want to get to 15 and then build it, so we maximize the income. I think we have to skip another 5 months, which doesn't really feel very nice. Okay, so I'd like to build this ore over here. Yes, our happiness is getting pretty low. If our happiness gets too low, we can lose. Again, this planet is, you know, the main culprit, but there's no way of satisfying its ore, so requirement. Now, if it gets all the way to the maximum, -8, you also get a -3 permanent penalty, which I'm afraid we're going to have to pay for that very first decision in this game. Thankfully, though, the rest of our planets are doing fairly okay. We're floating a robot here, which could be a problem later. I'm hoping it won't be, but it still might be. I'd like to use this asteroid here, because a two-way trade here plus this asteroid will very likely get us enough. This connection is very cheap, and we'll get 49 this year. All right, that should be enough to get a laboratory placed and still have an income of around 20-ish. So let's try to make this laboratory in such a way that it is in the cheapest possible spot. I think that is this location. 15 per connection. I don't think I can afford that, unfortunately, right now. So you might want to place it so that it's actually within the straight line. Right? Yeah, that saves us a credit. Why is this connection only 10? Like, my perspective is kind of playing... Oh, no, this is 14. I'd like to place it in such a way that the costs are... You know what would be really nice? If this view could indicate the costs on the lines. If you press Alt, you can see where something can connect, but you can't quite see how much it costs. 12 and 12. Well, I suppose we're going to pay 24 no matter how it's done. And we have our mission complete. Alright, we have to increase our production of ore by 8 units. We've just created 4 ore production. But, right, considering we have this lab that's consuming ore, and we have another ore planet here, and that's 2 already, right? So it might just be that. The other one is get a Forge World to successful, which is just like place that, do that connection, and you have completed the mission. So I suppose this is the easiest mission of all of them. And the final one is invent 2 technologies. That might be a while, right? Since we're considering going for early machine learning or early quantum computing, which is going to be fairly expensive to do. Early quantum computing does mean that we only get 1 of these 3 techs here, which might be fine, right? I don't think I'm enthused in particular about Xenolabs, just because of where our remnants are. I have a remnant here and here, but this one's in use, and this one might as well make minerals and then also get 2 science, so... Quantum sensors could still be good. I guess freeze-resistant bots could be okay. If only we had some robots here. Right, I could make lots of things from these ice balls, lots of water. There's no good source of robots. I might find a source of robots, so that might turn our pick into freeze-resistant bots. Other ones than that, quantum sensors could be good. I think actually quantum sensors is so cheap that it might be worth just getting before getting the quantum computing, and giving up on 2 points of science, in order to save a lot of time, which might just get us more than 2 points of science in the end. 18. Just like that. I could get another 2-way trade up. It's only 2 more income, unfortunately, because of the struggling nature of this planet. So I suppose we're going for the Forge World. More ore? Yeah, I think so. This mission will also give us a lot of money if we complete it, right? 60 cash. So that's very nice to get, as a cash injection is sorely needed on tough difficulty. Thankfully, you have quite a few good asteroids to sort of loosen the load a bit. How much did we end up on? If I just build this for now. 3. Oh, so we can do a scan. We can exactly afford a scan. So I should do 1 scan to see, to get some more information, to see if there's a way to produce food here. Oh, wow. Okay. Industry city here. Maybe it is actually going to be Xeno Studies, just because of the possibilities that unlocks. This can connect and supply humans to here, which will produce additional water, which can go here. There's at least there's a good source of goods here, which can supply 2 planets. So we're really looking for a source of water here for these 2. Maybe freeze-resistant bots. But then, right, if I make robot here, I cross the streams. If we have a look, it's either obstructed or out of range anyway. Yeah, I'm not so sure, right? This is kind of a problem. It's either the goods or it's... I mean, I could make robots here. Which would again go here and produce water. Which could then go there. Like these would be nice as water producers. Right, 2 water, 3 water. Just make this very successful. Don't really know of where to send the microchip. I suppose I could go here. Right, but then actually we can go water from there, microchip here, goods here, goods there, people there, microchip trade here, and food from question mark. I didn't think that far ahead. There is still 1 question mark to be answered. But we did our scout and we had a plan. Let's follow the plan. That is quite the plan. We end up in December with 25 money. Let's see here. Do I have a source of food here? That's what we're actually gambling on. Oh, that's a very nice scan. Let's go with that one. Well, there's 1 potential source of food, not a very nice one. I would prefer water here for completing trades. We have another 4-bear ruin, which can be immediately activated for very cheap. As soon as I give the other planet food, that is. So that would be our scout. Look at that. This makes for a very nice source of food. Some Earth-like. I could use the gravitic tugs later to get a robot in here and fix it. So I actually think that is not a bad answer. $10? 30 income? And 25? Sure, right? And then, let's see here. I can make biomatter ×2, which could be sent here eventually. I don't know, I'm not too fussed about that option. I think we'll just study them. and get 15 science, which again, like, we're getting to the possibility of early quantum computing, which would be fairly nice. I would like to do that. Right, so I would like to go ahead and go for this area next. There's some asteroids there. Fortunately, we'll go to 16 again. Like, we just end up just shy of... we end up falling behind those breakpoints this run, which will kind of cost a lot if I let that happen too much. So is there another solution? I think this one might be actually better to do. So in general, I could even do a microchip laboratory if I wanted. That would be perhaps too greedy. There's no real good option of colonizing this year. We'll do so next year, I suppose. This puts us at 15, right? If I... Now I'm in June. Could I get to September some good way? We're proceeding quite nicely with the Bakar mission as well, which is pretty neat. There's this source as well, which that could connect. It's kind of fancy. Let's throw this one out. We really wanted to see what was here. Unfortunately, it's no people, but it is a user of minerals to make robot. Yes, and then use this. Oh, that's our path right there. Unfortunately, we just the sequencing ends up badly, right? Maybe I can do it, but I'll end up wasting a little bit of money in an asteroid, but not paying the 15, right? Saving 16, paying 6 to save 16. Sounds like a good deal. So let's find out what's here. And I suppose here. And then, oh, no, we're ready, right? Because we get to October. And then bot factory. And now we get 32 income instead of 16, which is quite the difference. I get to throw in the robot here. Even get to connect that as well. Exploit that. And this ends up with quite a nice little system here. This one's kind of stuck in the middle. There's no real way of using this very well. Okay. So then... I could pick up quantum computing or flexible fabrication. I think I want to do this. Is it too greedy to do that? Or should we do graphitic tugs early? They're quite expensive to use, like 20? Yeah, there's 20. I don't think that's reasonable to get early on. Most of the other things are also quite expensive. Well, this is just a plain bonus, right? These cost 25 and 40, yeah. Let's go, right? Early quantum computing. Done. And now we get another 4 science, so I can still do one of these. That could be freeze-resistant bots, to be honest, still. For the water here, water there. Robot from here. Right, but this really wants to send another human in here. For which it would need a good. So this would probably need to be goods production. And the real question is which one? Since these two won't upgrade in a while, it could be goods from robots. Robots here. Right. And then this robot here can do something here. And what's the other option with freeze-resistant? Lichen farm, right? Which would require biomatter, which we don't have. So it's just water production that we can do? I mean, it's not ideal, right? This connection couldn't be made. This one was too long. So it'll have to be... Oh, no, wait. This is ore. Is this more ore? Because it's a two-way trade and it's goods. Yes. We're like forever short on robots everywhere. I would like to know if this could be robots, right? So we're falling back on this solution here. I suppose the microchips come from there. July. October. I really want this connection to be done before the end of the year, so we do it. Get a two-way trade there. End up with, again, a shortage of food somewhere. I'm not sure. This connection's too long, right? The gravitic tug eventually could move this out of the way. But, more importantly, let's find out what this is. There it is. The robots. They're too expensive. So, Lensify. Oof, that's expensive at 19. But making two robots, right? Making two robots could send a robot here to make water. And the water could go there. There are a lot of good connections that can be made at this point, right? That's a decent one to start off with. These internal connections, if we can make them, will increase our resource outputs. So I could build the mine here just to get more from this asteroid. What am I doing with the ore? I could send some of it here. I was going to use ore to make either robot or something else. It's going to have to be goods, to be honest. There's also this connection that could still be made to get our Silph mission complete, which we'll actually have to do to unlock these options. Otherwise, there's also this option to recycle it to produce more chips and stuff, which is not bad either. Yes, as we can see, it's just not quite where we want things to be. Maybe we could wait to gravitic tug something, right? If I could tug you in here into the middle, but then you down there, that would be 2 tugs for 40 money. It's a bit too expensive. It's a good plan to fix everything up and to use all the things in there, but I think it's too expensive to go with to quite get there. Fascinating, right? I think that is a too expensive of a plan. This run isn't going too great, but we'll manage. 7 and 8. 5 and 12. Yeah, so we can see this is not ideal. Our income still isn't that much more than it was. I think I've undone more than I've done before. I could just do this instead. And that ups it to 29. That's fairly nice, to be honest. This is sending things everywhere already, though. Yeah, get out of range, right? This one isn't colonizable, really. Or is that? So there's something to be said for geo-harvesting. which will unlock harvest, which will allow us to get money. Much needed money. Just get rid of the planets in the middle that we don't want. There's definitely something to be said for that. I don't know if the 2 science per year really was worth it. On the early the early quantum computing. Bit on the fence on it still. I think it's a bit too greedy, to be honest. I actually think that might be the... I want to make goods there, so yeah, both ice balls are not that valuable, so let's go with quantum sensors. We'll use those ice balls as fuel, basically. Oh, nice quantum sensors make scanning. It's very, very nice. Ooh, that is something. Is there some way? The robot shortages. Like, I guess I'm forced to do monoculture farm, which is unfortunate because that's robots again. Alright, I think that's it. Alright, now we have available geoharvesting, which I'm going to take immediately because that solves all our money problems. No more skips. Needed. Okay, okay, okay. I see you. So... what is this Arctic going to do? I think it'll have to be a colony. So now, who is going to be producing the food is the question. Right, because I do colony, biomatter, food, right? Something of that nature. This is a cute asteroid. It'll be very useful. Like, this connection can be made, right? Yeah. Let's cut that. But if I make this one, I can't make that one. Which I would like this to be Gaia World. Which would be amazing. Like that will be amazing in about 10 different ways. We'll see that soon. Gaia World, colony, 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 right? Just all the colonies over here, which is great. It'll be very good. This is like a very nice cluster of plants I've just discovered. The question is, what are we going to do, right? Are we going to try to maximize our existing structure more, try to get this filled in, or am I going to work here? Almost, I'm not sure. This could be the farm. Which will cover everything nicely. I think I want this. That's just slightly out of range. That is so unfortunate. If I could just tug it over a little bit, right? I could even get these two in. We don't have any tech that'll increase slipstream ranges, unfortunately. Hyper treachery. Ooh, that could be nice to fix all of our like permanent robot problems as well. Primordial and Forge World. Do we have primordials in position to do that? Not really. I mean, I guess it's this one, but like, there's so much ore and things around here that if I want to make robots here, I could anyway. So this is going to be goods production, no matter what. Let's start blowing things up then. Harvest you. Kaboom. And then the next action is a monoculture farm, which will go ahead and feed this. Then I would like to get ore production. That would be fairly expensive to do in that order. Goods production then first, so I can send it in. And then I could do ore production, right? But if I do so, I am throwing away a bit of money, right? Like 3 a year, that's quite a lot. In fact, our income is only going to be 25 if I do that. So instead, what I'd like to do is get rid of this ice ball, because it's in the way. And then do this connection, because I can, right? There we go. And then get some extra ore. Make it another two-way trade. And send a good to you. And send a chip in there. Would you look at that? I could even decide to make more ore and chips here. Which, you know what? Could be our second laboratory. Which I think we're about to be able to afford. I think it is not a terrible idea to do this. And to do a microchip laboratory. Because we have money via the use of harvest. So I might as well try to get science going again. Economic zones. Using the same resource. Well, we don't really have too many of those that could be done. Although we can do a zone here, right? It is that's going to be very valuable in terms of income, right? Because these are like 8 income already. Now, they need to send their humans to places, but that's doable. But no, it's not, because this connection is going to be made. So no. No, that plan is dead in the water, so I suppose it's going to be you. Oh, that sends it immediately. Do I want it to send it immediately? I don't think so, because this is going to be prosperous anyway, so... also, I really want to see if we can maybe get, more than just 2 microchips. If we can get 3. Oh, yes, definitely, actually. So let's go ahead and try to place this like so. How long is... 1 month, okay, very nice. We'll get an extra science here. Okay, and now I can connect that up. And then make it, which allows us to now choose where our resources go, right? Because otherwise it would immediately send its chip wherever it goes. But now it has 2 targets, so I can choose. No, let's send it to the laboratory, right? I want more science. As you can see, you get a little tutorial pop up saying you can do this. Now we have this spare ore. Now, interestingly in this game, I've done it a couple times before over here, but it didn't really come up that much. If you have, I've done it here a bunch, right? If you have resources and, it's already got all its needs, don't worry, you can send it more to make more money, right? Do more things. I could even send in another one if I wanted, and that would make it, and we can also complete our mission to make a bunch of ore, which will give us another 60 money, so now our money is really going. Unfortunately, we didn't quite have the money to not take geo-harvesting there, right? That was kind of a breakthrough. But now we have a nice nest egg and we can keep going, hopefully. So this is a mission to improve our yearly science output. I think I want that. Where is the designated area? That's very far away, right? We have the exploration bonus, but this will force us to beeline all the way over there. I think it's the other 2 missions. It's fairly simple. So if you get a science mission, it's best to go for that one first, especially if you have the money to afford it. So we're going to go ahead and get more science, right? Getting more science allows you to get these late game techs, which are very good. I can do 1 more tech to advance us. Maybe we do one of these cheap techs. Maybe biohybrids if we can find any use for it at all. Otherwise, I could get something like gravitic tugs. And not too interested in integrated manufacturing. It could be good. I could make microchips and all our... no, I could make microchips here and get 2 science. I could make a chip here, send it there. Make a chip here, send it there. There's quite a few places where that's actually okay. Now these are projects. You can only have one. And the reason why I'm a bit hesitant on projects is because we have this skill download thing, which is like one of the really good projects, right? This is sort of a worse version of skill download because it's more expensive and only works on one type of planet, but it is like another type of resource. So it might just be integrated manufacturing for us. In any case, I can send this there and make this prosper, which gives it 7 more income. How is it 7 more income? Where does that come from? Interesting, it's 4 per resource now. Oh, interesting. If a planet is prospered, it actually gets a bonus now on its trade income. So yes, I would very much like to do that to get 7 income. Fancy. Okay. So yeah, as you can see, like this planet would be great for skill up, right? You could send a water in there to unlock this planet's potential. I can see that. I can see that. Okay, so this is still out of range, right? It's not going to change. This is in range though, which could be good for biomatter. Our mission is to get 5 science income though, which is looking at how to do that, right? We could make more ore here. More ore, and this one's is to get Forge Worlds successful. Unfortunately, both our Forge Worlds are already successful, so we'll have to find new ones. But then again, I mean, finding a couple Forge Worlds is probably easier than getting all the way over to the middle of nowhere. I think we're okay building the whole thing I wanted to make here. This one's used up all its people, but that's not a problem for us. Do I want that or do I want water here, actually? That's a good question. I might want biomatter here instead. Although this wants biomatter if it wants to be a colony. But it could get it from here. Actually, let's set it up like that instead, right? So I could set up... Oh, but it sends both? Is that okay? I think that's okay, actually. Because we'll upgrade it and get things from it. It's December. I could do it with a scout, just to see what's over here. Ah, that's nice. I hope that that was nothing, so I could perhaps make biomatter here, which is very good as a source here. I could maybe even do a laboratory in the middle here for the biomatter. If only I had ore, right? In some capacity had 1 point of ore. Our science is at the level where integrated manufacturing is available. I think that is our good option here. Sorry for those hoping for gravitic tugs, maybe next time, right? Where did I... Yes, this one is most important. Oh, let me actually do it so that I can send you there to make some more science. Yeah, that's good. And then there are other places where it would be quite nice to do so, like here. Just in general, connecting up more planets. And this one as well. Right? Which sends this thing its export route or import route that it needs. Right? Once this can get going, it might be one of our 2 mission goals for Silthid. So it wants Forge Worlds, and this is a Forge World, which is producing robots. It just needs an output for its robot, and at that point, it can go ahead and start becoming prosperous as well. I'd like to keep these at the edge if I can help it. These labs. Are you... Okay. Let's blow up this lava planet. In order to afford more integrated manufacturing. Oh, we can even choose where it can go. I think over here, right? Because that will make this prosperous as well. It won't yet. Because it doesn't have enough neighbors, but once it does, it will. Did it actually need that? It didn't actually need that. Maybe that's a bit of a waste of time then to do so. Or waste of money, really, right? Maybe we'll use our money over here first instead. So, this one, right? Can become a colony. Our empire size increased, but, well, as you can see, right? We're making quite the wave here. Especially, like, look at that. All these resources going everywhere. And there we go. Got plenty of humans to send to various places. Now, this would be a good opportunity to see what's over here as well. Okay, I'll leave that for now, because we've just gone to large size. And this is, I believe, based on your income. So we can let it sit for a while so we can make more money. I would like to get water extraction going here. So that I can upgrade that planet as well. Unfortunately, there's all these humans being used already. There's no good place to... I suppose I could do water. Like I'm looking for, you know, another laboratory somewhere, right? How to... I suppose this one? Where are the humans at? Right? Green stuff here. There's a jungle there, which could do a thing. Like if you use the same resource twice in a laboratory, you have to pay a penalty of 2 science, which is quite significant at this point in the game. Oh, we can even upgrade. I think I definitely want to start building laboratories now. Maybe even just for the 3 science, to be honest. That will just, yeah, that'll just do it, right? That'll just unlock what I need. So I suppose another laboratory resourcing water over here. And then with skill up, that one can upgrade. It's not too shabby, actually. There we go. 8 science, right? It's in general just quite valuable. And I suppose I'll blow up another planet to end the year, so that we have another 90 money to do this year. Actually, I have enough to afford that, which I should immediately get, so that we get more science. We are at 23 science now, right? Our science income is quite good. Just a little more, and then we'll be able to get a lot of these endgame technologies. If I want graphite tugs, I should take it now. I don't know if I want it. It takes quite a bit of time to use. There's also flexible fab, which will allow me to do... It will allow me to make robots here, which I could slipstream in to fix this. Right, there's 2 -8s in our area. Flexible fabrication could be an option. Just fairly good. Using robots as people. In what place do we have excess robots? I guess one over here, which could go in there. Right, but then this will need another export route in order to upgrade, so... This is really the only location where we really have a spare robot. We're kind of having a shortage of them everywhere. So probably no. This would need food, I suppose, right? Although, right, more microchips. 11 science, right? Food could come from here as well. But then where'd the water come from? Oh, here, of course. I'm a dummy. Hold on just a second. I'm a bit of a dummy here. I could just do that. Which is excellent. I think I'll relay in food later. Isn't that? So if I want relays, it's 39. I could wait for relays, because it will get us quite a bit. I think I should try to increase my science a bit further. Okay, we now get to go into slipways overload, and everything is going to get slowly more expensive at the very end of the game. We have too many slipways, says the game. I mean, you can't have too many things, right? So now... our artifact sale still isn't quite putting in the work yet. So food there. Do I really want those chips? Maybe that's a bit questionable, actually. Because I want this connection, right? For humans go into here to make what? That? Those go and make food? Yeah. Oh, right, this is actually excellent. This is better. We can just send humans into our laboratories. Some more researchers. There we go. That's a way of dealing with things. Want to pay the iron price? Maybe not. There's perhaps some useful knowledge to be gained still. Not a whole lot. But I could unlock a 4-bear ruin or something, you know. Oh, something like this. That's actually very good for us. Yes. I would like more water. That seems nice. 8, 10, and 9 science, right? And now we go into slipstream relays as well. We can connect places that are normally too far from each other. I'll immediately use one of those, I suppose, right? I could go ahead and fix some things here with that, if I wanted to. It's just cute. For now, though... yeah. What am I doing? I don't need those robots there. Do I? Oh, I threw out a scan, actually. I think this is okay, actually. Just looking towards a way of... doing that, right? Which I suppose could be done, right? It's just a little bit wonky. Like so, right? Just the whole trade everything into everywhere solution. Which works fine, right? So let's look at this mission here, because it's been, you know, in the way for a bit. We have 2 Forge Worlds. We found our Forge Worlds. They just need to be successful, so it's not going to be super challenging. Since we now have the ability to send things to places with slipstream, slip relays, it should be possible to get some use out of this robot. Not that and not that. I could get machine sentience actually, to unlock using robots as people. That will solve that, which will happen in 1 month. So that one is practically solved. This one though is going to be a little more tricky. I could send another good somewhere. So there's something to be said, right, for sending a good here or there, which will cut this one off from the lab, but I suppose I could always make it so that I could always add an extra one in, so that I can then, like when I want to cross the streams, I can, like so. Oh, interesting. You get an increased cost, but it's only 13. I'll pay that. Ah, I see. So this is interesting. So this is actually a suggestion that I made to the developer that now actually is in the game. And that is to stop you from basically connecting everything everywhere. If you try to make a very long and convoluted trade route, then additional relays in a row will reduce your income for every relay a thing moves through by 1. So if I say made a whole circle of relays all around and send something from here all the way to there, it's actually going to cost me money. Right? So you can't just interconnect everything just by slamming down a lot of relays in the late game. It's actually far more effective to try to use as little as few as you can. But over here we kind of want to do this sort of thing because we're trying to move researches which don't actually make us things. And in addition to that, actually, big relay networks are inherently unstable, so trying to connect a relay to another relay or a relay to a teleporter increases the cost. A bit, you know, I think the teleporters are kind of weak in general, but maybe they got buffed in some other way. The teleporters I never really use all that much. But definitely this makes relays, you know, I think this makes relays fair. Because if you think about it, a lot of people that play this game have never actually done, you know, the whole build a whole network of relays strategy. But this definitely changes things up. I'm wondering how I'm going to do the mission then, right? I still think though that stream splitting is going to be a thing, right? But not yet, right? I wanted to get machine sentience first, so that this robot gets sent here, which will give us part of our mission for clicking a research. I think it might be time to sell off our things, but not before we find ourselves a source of chips. Unfortunately, I used this chip already in the lab because I wasn't paying attention, I suppose. There's really no excuse for that, but it is what it is. I think we'll see if we can maybe find something that can produce what I need here. Either an ore or a robot production will do. This planet is already using all of its people though, so is this one. A shortage of humans, because I threw them all into laboratories, I suppose. But, you know, maybe with stream splitting on top, it's going to be kind of expensive to get. I mean, I could relay all the way from there, but again, right? Okay, not what I'm looking for in particular. Although another colony couldn't go amiss, right? As long as I find the required... Can I somehow get water here? That would be another solution. Right, find the source of water. Move it all the way there. I mean, you are a source of water. Right? Yeah. You are a source of water. A very good one, too. It would need infraways as well, but I think it's... That would solve the mission. Let's see what's over here. Oh. That could be it too. Right. Nanotech facility. I like the idea of a nanotech facility here. It's just the water, right? How am I going to get this? I wish I hadn't cut you off. Because that's a two-way trade right there. I think we'll want to do, yeah. Okay, so water here. Which I'm going to have to move over there. Which might prove a little tricky because I want to make sure that I can also do this. Which means it has to go around, right? So let's see here. I can't afford a slip relay actually, so we'll blow up a planet in order to be able to do so. Yes, I was afraid of that. So we want to move a little bit outwards. And then do this as well, right? And maybe put it in range of that as well. Yes. Okay, this is going to be a fairly expensive connection, I can already tell, but that's why we have this ability to blow up planets to make, yes, 36. Not as much as I thought at first, but still definitely up there. September, October, November. Right, okay, so ideally we just blow up 2 more planets that we're not intending to use. Oh, let's say, what I'm going to not use. Oh, this one is not usable. This one is unusable. There we go. 1, 2. And another one. Water. Wait, what? No, that's definitely what I want actually. More stuff. And then microchip. Oh, really? That's also out of range? Our empire size increased again. Stream splitting. Right, which allows me to use this node to cheaply send a ore in here. Then well, that connection can't be made. But what I can do is be a little fancy and complete our task. Okay. Increase. Invent 2 new technologies. That's doable. Get an ore producing planet to prosperous. Prosperous. We have to select 2 tasks still. These tasks will now reduce the cost of research, which is very nice. Infraspace could solve a lot of problems. I'm looking towards this one in particular, as well as certain other things, like I could make a water into the laboratory maybe even. Right, if I'm a little bit cautious about. I think it's possible. So there's that. Otherwise I could just do it here, right? Yeah, that would be a little finicky to do, so perhaps not. So yes, maybe I won't use this, and it was kind of a waste, and I should just use the single relay. You never, you know when you learn, right? Well, maybe not, right? Maybe it's okay. Got a lot of decent worlds here. Just gotta find some good use for it. Okay, I think that I want to get an ore producing planet to prosperous. I think that's the simplest task we could do. as well as 2 technologies. I don't think I want to build 8 robots. Just infraways will solve a lot of these problems in multiple ways if I place them correctly. Using a relay here, for example, will allow me to get a person in there and a water into here. Which should make this prosperous at that point, I think. Because it has 1, 2, 3 successful neighbors. And it does have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 resources at that point that'll get in there. I think that's good enough. Maybe even do a second relay. Right, just in order to get done for in as well. Might be a bit expensive, but certainly possible. Only 28 now. This is getting less over time. I might be waiting too long with using it. I just went into vast. I should have actually popped it before doing so. It's kind of a mistake. Okay, anyway. Yeah, so I think I want to solve this thing at this point. Oh, right. We can instantly build slipstream relays because of our Silthid space architects. That's kind of really neat. Right, that's one solved planet. I mean, sure, right? Any other sources of stuff I could do? Yeah, this one, right? A very strong one to do, but I suppose I could blow up some more planets to make this happen. I gotta be a little careful that I don't remove planets that I need to use, right? But I think this one is not all that great. Still haven't built anything on here, which, I mean, yeah, that was part of the plan at some point, but we're interested in connecting this in at this point. Sends an additional human in. Sends you over there. That's good. It's not making too much trade income, but it works. So then, yeah, I don't really have a good way of getting an ore-producing planet to be prosperous yet. But that'll change when we unlock. There's quite a few good asteroids left in various places. Once I unlock the ability to do this. Now we also get infraspace. This run is all about the relays, right? We're going to be using lots and lots of relays everywhere. Oh wait, that connection's already been made. All right. So now with infraspace, it should be possible to, well, for starters, do this, right? I would like to send water into the science lab. Now, can I do so? Oh, this is... Can I... Oh, I found the pixel. Put it there. And look at that. That's quite a few planets that we just upgraded. Okay, so I think I can just harvest this. Harvesting a planet is usually better than harvesting an asteroid, just to get more from it. You can get another 2 science a year for the last few years, another 6 points of science, sure. It seems fine. We do have to research 1 more technology, right? So getting another few points would be valuable. What are the other things we can do with Infraways? Well, we're looking at this contraption over there, so see if we can solve that to some extent. I think we'll just harvest this as well as this. There we go. Got enough money to now do things again. Yes, we just blow up all the planets just to make our money. That seems fine. Nothing wrong with that, right? So this one wants to make people into water. And then I get additional ore. Now there's two destinations there for, so let's do this and that. Oh, there's a destination there. We're fine. And then the person. Oh, I can't afford. Still with I can't afford. Let's just blow this one up. I don't think I'll use it. And this person can go here. Wow. Would you look at that, right? I send 1 person there, and because that makes all 3 of those have 3 adjacent successful planets, we get 3 prosperous planets with 1 action. And a tech discount. Not unimportant, right? So now we have a tech discount. So now we can see if we can use our tech discount. There's this, right, which will allow us to build lots of stuff in a short time span, but they're twice cost. So maybe not. There's also time dilation to give us more time, which actually might be the limiting factor because we have harvest to gain money. So maybe it has to be time dilation actually. To well, I can get 60 now. This is good. So I want to see if I can get this robot over here. Still, let's ideally find a remnant world because that would be the easiest way to produce a robot, but I guess it'll have to be a forge world. I suppose I could do that, right? Which will be quite expensive, but at least, you know, it'll be sold. Maybe we'll look over here as well, see if there's the forge world in this direction. Yeah, look, that's a simpler solution. It'll even make it. Although probably using a relay will be a cheaper solution overall because the connections will be so much shorter. And it's instant build, so. And apparently it's a 2-way trade. Oh, because we can use robots as people, right? Okay, so now our final, like, all our unhappy planets are gone. Our happiness is 128. Right, we do have to contend with 6% from past shortages. Let's see if I can fix as much unemployment as possible. That's also a great idea. So let's see if we can send some people some places. This one's cut off. You cannot cross an infraway with another infraway. There's also plasma containment, which can turn water into energy, which might be a thing we want to do. In order to gain energy. Which I could use here, right? Instead of going for skill download, I could get energy-driven industry, which this one does have a discount. I think it's not going to be time dilation. We don't have enough time to make use of time dilation. Let's get plasma containment. Which now we only have to accept a single task, which we have just about slightly over 2 years left. It's like producing 13 ore in 2 years is going to be very challenging. Doing this lab though actually doable. Actually okay. Right, with that planet over there? And that one over there? Yeah, sure. Getting a prosperous forge world, do we... Yes. We'll do the both of those. And, I mean, I suppose, right, that's a start. It wants one more input. I mean, it could eventually get that, I suppose. Oh, fine. Actually, using robots as people, right? Found this and then trade. Okay, okay, so that's that solution. I think that money is more important than science. Right. Can I just do that? And then... Why is this not... It's stubbornly refusing. It needs to be trading with successful things, right? Wait, can I... This increases this thing's output, right? I mean, I suppose, right? It's not trading with it. Oh, that's... Hold on. This is possible, but you have to do it in exactly the right order. Right? We do that. So you trade with him. And then... wait, why can't I? Oh, because I don't have money. And then... Sending you then. Fascinating, right? Oh, right, I'm sending it there, right? So it's not good enough. Yeah, see, so being a little obstinate because I can't get ships here now. So sort of like, no, this is not the solution. This planet is not going to be the one. Do we have another forge world, perhaps, somewhere? This one. Yeah, this is going to be... I thought I could do this, but apparently not. It's a little trickier than it at first glance appears. But maybe there's a different type of solution to this conundrum. Like if I could just get a two-way trade. And add in water. This is a chicken and egg problem, right? I want to use this robot in order to get the trade. But then the planet I'm trading with wants water. And to use this other thing, right? But maybe it is doable, because you exist as well, and you're making microchips from ore, and you just want another import route as well. So perhaps I could satisfy both those things. In fact, hold on a second. I could do this. Ah. Yes, that will work. I will need to consume some more planets, which we need some. We need at this point. There's this one here. I'm sure that I'm not going to use. So everything is very expensive. There's another modified though. Okay. Oh, right. That one. Alright. Okay. And now send in an extra ore. There we go. Okay. Forge World prospers. Done. Biomatter laboratory. I saw that I could do that at this point somewhere. With one of these techs, I believe. Was it with energy? It had something to do with like energy, I think. Like, I can place a laboratory. Right. Send in a person. Send in a biomass, which sends it 5 science and gets us a prosperous planet. Then I can set up an fusion plant. Create energy, which is a wild card. Send it immediately. Then grab ourselves energy-driven industry as an incredibly cheap tech to get us bonus biomatter. Then build a relay structure to send said bonus biomatter into our laboratory. Of course, destroying multiple additional planets in order to fund this whole ordeal. Let's just scout in order to find some more things that can be destroyed. Mission complete. More tasks available. 7 energy. That's quite a lot of energy. I don't think that that's reasonable at all. Oh, this one's actually consuming 2 water. That's actually kind of neat. That's fine. 9 microchips. Again, not really. Can we get 2 prosperous remnants? This one and that one are still available. What do you want? Like, I still have the ability to get something like skill download. Or even flexible fabrication. Because you just want another trading partner. You want another trading partner, so it's probably going to be skill download. Because I can get a skill up facility here, connected in there, and then we'll get a 2-way trade, and this will become successful so that this one becomes prosperous. Okay, so that one's doable. Then I need to find one more, which is going to probably be this one. It can get... Oh, it just needs to get rid of its microchip, which it can do there. So this one's also doable. Okay, that's our final mission, probably. Realistically speaking, really. Let's get cracking on it, I suppose, right? 1, 2... And where? 1 trade, 2 trade, 3 trades. Oh, what's another import or export? I should really be counting these things. Is there a way? Yeah, there is, okay. I just have to place this a little better. So you might be asking, like, wait, how's he going to use that? That's using all its resources already. No, it's not. You're going to make more stuff for me. There we go. Done. That's one. Now the second one. That's going to be this one. Gotta find some more fuel. Up you go and smoke. Skill up facility. Blow up an Earthlink because we want that achievement if it exists. I'm not sure if it does. Actually, this is already trading with that. What am I doing? Wait, if it's already trading with that, how can I... Oh, right, of course. This one. I mean, I could, but I shouldn't. Right? Like... Yes, I should do that. Right. Makes a lot of sense. And then goodbye nice sites. I believe we haven't used that that thing at all, so it just ends up being a 5% penalty to score. Also is life, I suppose. There weren't that many nice sites all around. Okay, so there we go, and the other one becomes prosperous as well by doing that. I can get 2 more ore producing plants to prosperous. We have only 3 months remaining. I don't think that is possible. I think we are done. I can't invent 3. We will decline these missions, because if we don't complete the final mission, we will get a score penalty, which is not a good thing to have. Okay, so now we have 3 more months remaining. Is there something we can still do? We can still do a relay connection between 2 planets if I want to. So are there 2 planets I could connect to get another prosperous planet? Maybe this one here, that one here, or this one here actually would be very nice to connect somewhere because it's producing unhappiness from unemployment. So perhaps I could send a human there. Would that make it prosperous actually? If it could get somewhere where it sends a human to make a ship, it could, but I mean, there's this one, but already using everything, right? If I had 1 more month, I could. I don't think so, though. I don't even know if I can afford to do this, right? Because the Slipways are so expensive, like, yeah. This is a problem, I can't afford that. Like, it's too expensive. So, I think we're done. There's no more money to do things. Maybe a cheaper thing that we can still do somewhere else. So that's unfortunately not doable. Spend too much money on other things. This one wants another import. Unfortunately, all our robots are in use. I used that connection. What does this one want? Oh, it wants another export. Can we use a microchip somewhere? Over there, but again, that connection is going to be way too expensive. 76 already, like 20, 50, 80. I only have 22 monies, so no, not enough money. Money. I could do that. That would take 3 months, so no, I couldn't do that. I think that since we're in October, we're 1 month late on actually being able to do something, because I need to use this to get enough money to do basically anything whatsoever. And, you know, I could send something somewhere, but it's of little use. Most things are prosperous, right? The only real troublemaker is this one. I would so like to. Oh wait, I still have this. I still have, wait, hold on a second. I can use the artifacts. There we go. And that will actually not use a month. So maybe I can do 3 connections now. Yes, we can do it. We can do it. Which means I could do something like that, and that. 2 more prosperous planets. That's, I think, about as much as we could get. And, oh, 21,000. Next rank at 24,000, which we're quite a bit off. But it is, you know, for trying some new things, I think this is not bad at all. Could definitely be better. And we had we had a bit of a rough start in the early game, but once it got going, I definitely think that that our ability to blow up planets for money was the clincher, as well as the clever use of relays to get several prosperous planets in the end game. Unfortunately, I could not use too many missions. I could not get too many missions in the end game. Right, we have level 3, and level 5, which means we completed a total of 11 missions. Our mission score is lower than our planet score. And of course, the 5% penalty hurts a bit. So yeah, I think I'm going to be taking a break, but we'll be back in, I suppose, about half an hour to some more Slipways. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and see if I've got anyone. I mean, I've got just one person. I suppose it's fine. Oh, I still have my... Well, we should actually do this. My stream still says Monster Train. Now we're doing Slipways. Right, that's better. We come back soon.